إليك إله الخلق أرفع رغبتي وإن كنت يا ذا المن والجود مجرما ولما قسى قلبي وضاقت مذاهبي جعلت الرجاء مني لعفوك سلما.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Before we go to the details of this evening's program, I would like to request Qari Abdul Samad to come up to the rostrum and rehearse a few ayats from the Holy Quran. The verses which you will hear today are from Surah Al-Mu'minun, which is Surah 23, ayat numbers 84 through 90. Qari Abdul Samad.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل لمن الأرض ومن فيها إن كنتم تعلمون سيقولون لله قل أفلا تذكرون قل من رب السماوات السبع ورب العرش العظيم سيقولون لله قل أفلا تتقون قل من بيده ملكوت كل شيء وهو يجير ولا يجار عليه إن كنتم تعلمون سيقولون لله قل فأنى تسحرون بل أتيناهم بالحق وإنهم لكاذبون صدق الله العظيم.
The translation: Say, for whom is it the earth and what is in it, if you know? They will say, for Allah. Say, so then will you not receive admonition? Say, who is the Lord of the seven skies and the Lord of the supreme throne? They will say, for Allah. Say, so then will you not guard? Say, whose hands are with his kingdom in everything, and He protects, and no protector is over Him. If you know, they will say, for Allah. Say, so how are you deluded? Nay, we gave them the truth, but surely they are definite liars. Before I request the speaker to address us on the topic of what Al-Quran says about ilah, gods, and Allah, God, I would like to take a few moments of your time and give you a brief synopsis of this evening's proceedings. The International Islamic Propagation Center, under the chairmanship of Mr. Mohammad Shaikh, is extensively involved in the research of the Holy Quran. The International Islamic Propagation Center, IIPC, has to date hosted over 10 lectures. All of these videos are circulated worldwide throughout the United States of America, Europe, Australia, and numerous countries in Asia. Over the last quarter, Mr. Mohammad Shaikh's lectures are now aired on Third World Network television in the United States of America. The lecture format which you will be hearing today is based on the booklet which each and every one of you should have. On the first page of the booklet, you will note a small pro forma which we request you to please take a few moments of your time and have it filled out with your current mailing address and telephone numbers, so that an up-to-date list of all individuals is maintained at the center for subsequent mailing of lectures, invitation cards, and Islam. You also have present with you, along with the booklet, a paper and a pen. These have been given to you for the use during the lecture for any questions that may come to mind, for you to note down and then to subsequently ask the speaker after the lecture is over. In the booklet, you will note that on the right-hand side of the page are the Arabic ayats, and on the opposite page is its respective English translation. The entire lecture of Mr. Mohammad Shaikh is based on Quranic ayats. And I need to stress that he does not, and I repeat, he does not propagate any school of thought. He does not belong to any specific or particular sect. And the entire contents of his lecture will be exclusively from the Holy Quran. The ayats within the booklet are chronologically placed in the same order as that which you will hear in the same sequence as delivered by Mr. Mohammad Shaikh. There may be certain concepts which may be in contradiction with our existing faith. But it is important to realize and to note that the ayats are the words of Allah, and if we are to submit ourselves, we need to appreciate and understand and believe the ayats. At the culmination of the lecture, we will be open, the floor shall be open for lecture and for a question and answer session, the details of which I shall give at a later time. But please let it suffice for now, and this is my earnest request to each and every one of you, that do not interrupt the speaker during his talk. Please do not interrupt the speaker during the course of his talk. For any questions that come to mind, we have provided you with a piece of paper and a pen, so please note it down, and you will be given enough time and ample opportunity to ask the same. So now I would request Mr. Mohammad Shaikh to deliver his lecture, what Al-Quran says about ilah, gods, and Allah, God. Mr. Mohammad Shaikh.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. I seek refuge in Allah from the shaitan, the rejected. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be unto you, all of you, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Today's topic is what Al-Quran says about ilahs. The better Arabic word would be alihah in Arabic. I've Latinized as in English, like we add S to Muslim, which is an Arabic word Muslims, I've added an S to ilahs. Basically in Arabic is ilah, a plural would be aliyah, translated as gods, small G-O-D-S, gods. Aliyah or ilahs, meaning gods, small G-O-D, gods. And Allah, the creator, the nourisher, the sustainer, the evolver of the worlds, is God, translated capital G-O-D, God, in singular. Capital G-O-D, God in singular. Ladies and gentlemen, before I speak directly onto the subject and what the Quran has to say about these gods, ilahs or aliyah or Allah, I would like to give you in my own words a comprehension and understanding what you are going to hear. First of all, I would like to bear witness, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah wa khatam al-nabiyyin, meaning there is no God. There is no God except Allah, the creator, and Muhammad is the messenger and the seal of the prophets. I bear witness that there is no God except Allah and Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. Further, I bear witness, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. I bear witness that there is no God except Allah and Muhammad is the messenger and the servant of Allah. Ladies and gentlemen, the lecture by itself is an introduction to gods, the ilahs and the real Allah. So it will be a very unique for most of the people in the audience to an introduction, because this is the job of the messenger to introduce to you the Allah, the creator, which was introduced to you in all time through Muhammad, messenger of Allah. I, as a layman, as a human being, is trying to follow the example of the Prophet Muhammad and all the prophets. So it should be very clear in your mind that it was the messengers in all time have been introducing Allah, the creator, to mankind. I am following their footsteps as a man. I am no more and nothing but a man. First of all, I would like to tell you, like, if I personally write an autobiography about myself, an introduction to my personality, myself, what I'm going to write as I see the world. As I see the world and I see the environment and about myself would be an autobiography of Mohammad Shaikh. But at the same time, if people around me, close associates of me, they also write something about me, would it be similar? I would like to ask the question from the audience. Would it be similar what I write about myself and what people are going to write about me? Would be similar? Thank you. Similarly, the Creator Allah Almighty, He Himself has sent a book, Quran, as a revelation of Allah to mankind, describing His attributes, His personality. Himself is describing who is Allah, what are His attributes, and how He sees the world, and how did He make it. That means the Quran is the book of Allah in which He describes Himself. He describes Himself, and at the same time He describes the universe, because the universe is the creation of Allah. So the real Allah you can come to know through the messenger Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and the attributes of Allah, the names of the Allah in the Quran, the word of Allah. So the word of Allah is in the Quran. So Quran, the book of Allah, is the autobiography from Allah. The same Allah, people are writing about the same Allah. So ladies and gentlemen, when people are writing about Allah, can never be same what Allah Himself has written about His personality in the book of Allah. Can never be. You must understand this. The personality of Allah, which you people, mankind, are trying to write about Allah, can never be same as to what Allah has written in the book by Himself, the Quran. So ladies and gentlemen, this is why the religions occurred. There are different religions in the world. People, mankind, are trying to portray and understand Allah through their intelligence, and through their emotions. Giving pictures, giving their opinions about Allah. Allah can speak for Himself. He does not require your understanding to Allah. So that is the difference. You have to understand how the lecture will go on. One, you will see the picture, the truth from Allah, and one, the picture of man. The picture of man of the same identity, Allah. So ladies and gentlemen, Allah is described in the Quran by His names, by His attributes or character traits. What is Allah? In the Quran when I read the ayahs. But at the same time, man has given the same Allah, made the same Allah as an idol. Because he doesn't communicate through the Quran. He himself thinks he knows Allah, and he's trying to understand the God or Allah through his emotions, through his own emotions. He's trying to understand Allah through his own emotions and intelligence, and he's trying to write books, his own image. So the same Allah, you will see the two pictures of the same Allah Almighty. One is the reality, one is the image or idol. And that idol in all times are depicted by various religions, and at the same time it is portrayed as a physical carving of stones in the world. So ladies and gentlemen, if you open the booklet where certain page number 7 I suppose, the heading is beware of the names of partners, idols, false gods in the worship of Allah, with Allah. Meaning, mankind's emotions, mankind concepts, his own visualizations, his own opinions about the Creator, his own imaginations, his own speculations about the Creator. Beware of the names of the partners, idols, false gods in the worship with Allah. The Quran speaks about those idols in various surahs and ayahs. I have given you these few references and we will analyze. So in Surah Al-Nuh, 71 surah and ayah 23. In English it is love and in Arabic is wadda. The first ideal that mankind has been taking as an idol or a name given to Allah is wadda. I will go into detail the translations and explanation, but first I'll just read the words. So in Surah Al-Nuh, 71 surah, ayah 23, wadda, that is translated as love. And in Surah Al-Najm, 53 surah and 19 ayah, lat, would be, if and buts. Al-Najm, chapter 53, ayah 20, manat, another idol, translated as alas or longing. And in Surah Al-Najm, 53 surah, ayah 20, uzza, honor. Al-Furqan, chapter 25, ayah 43, hawa, desire. Al-Nuh, 71 surah, 23 ayah, yaghus, seek aid. Yaghus, seek aid. Al-Nuh, 71 surah, ayah 23, nasr, vulture. Al-Nuh, 71 surah, 23 ayah, yauq, delay. Al-Nuh, 71 surah, 23 ayah, suba, time or hour. In the Urdu, it would be muhabbat for wadda, love, and lat ka kash, lata. Manat is mannate, tamannae. Uzza, izzat, hamari izzat, uzza. Haba, khwaishat, khwaish. Yaghus, madad, sahara. Nasar, gid. Yauq, der karna, rukavte dalna. Suba, ghadi aur waqt. Now ladies and gentlemen, these words, I have just read the Arabic words and the translations. On the following page, the meanings and little explanation are given, and we will analyze one by word. The first idol is wadda, love. You will again and again hear in the world, love is God. God is love. Allah is love. Again and again you will hear in the big captions trying to emphasize that Allah is love. Because love is an emotion of man provided by Allah. Allah gave these emotions to man for a certain purpose. We put this emotion that God is love. You have to love God. Love is God. You don't have to work anything. It's just love. It's just an emotion. And in Arabic, wudud is loving. An attribute which Allah is loving, not love. Love is just an idol. So generally, Allah has given this emotion to man, it's just love. But when it becomes an idol, and how it becomes an idol, you have to understand this. Allah has given us intelligence and emotions. You have to keep a balance. A normal human being is considered in balance when he controls over emotions and use in his life and uses his statements and intelligence as well. But when at any time a person, man or a woman, is infatuated to an extent when love, the emotion of love takes over him, the emotion of love takes over him, it becomes God. Because God means that who controls our minds. Allah controls our minds. Similarly, when this emotion captures human intelligence, it starts controlling your mind. That in the emotionally you are worked up, you lose your intelligence. It acts as a God. Love. It acts as a God. You don't use your intelligence. What Allah tells you how to control your emotions, how and where there is a limit of love, and if you surpass that limit, so you lose yourself and you start working under the influence of love. You give your life for love of the country, love for your mother, love for your husband, love for your children. Yes, you can love them. You can love them. But you cannot surpass the law of Allah in that love also. When you surpass the law of Allah, you are carried away by emotions. So in generally you will notice people will speak to each other that this gentleman is under emotional unbalance. He's under the influence of love at the moment. He will not understand any logic and reason. So that is what I am trying to explain. When you are under the influence of love or any emotion, you lose yourself and it acts as a God to you. So love becomes God. So people say God is love. This is first explanation to the word wadda, love, an idol of man. It is an emotion when it is controlled. But when you lose yourself, it acts a God to you, and then you start following the emotion, it acts as a God. That is the first explanation to love. The second is lat, would be. Would be is in the word if and buts. In English, would be and if and buts. To every situation, whenever you will note there is a logical argument among people on different issues, and when the person is convinced, he has no answer. So he will use this word. Remember this. I agree to what you are saying, so and so, but he will bring his but. Because there is no way out, he will bring his but. Just because if and buts is his God. He will never agree to which is fact. He will use if I would have done this, I would have done this, then this I would have been not in this problem. But I did not do this because this. So on any situation in life, people are thinking about their past, whatever the wrongs they did in the past, and they keep on thinking, reminding themselves, not working on it, reminding themselves, if I had not done that at that time, if I would have been doing this, I would have been the Prime Minister of the world, or I would have become like this. You know, a desire of the past which is not to be changed. You keep on thinking of the past and you're trying to improve. You don't do anything about it. You just think and you start using if and buts. Thinking process. You can use this thinking process for analyzing a thing and come to a conclusion. But if you use this if and buts against the laws of Allah, it becomes God. And you don't attain anything in life. You are always confused. A man who's involved in if and buts will never be able to establish anything.